Last week we talked about the most underachieving teams of so far this season. Who do you guys think has been the most overachieving team so far this season? And I'll go first. I think it's the Portland Trailblazers because they haven't had Yusuf Nurkic for a lot of the season, and they haven't had CJ McCollum for a lot of the season, and they're 21-14. Dame is doing amazing things over in Portland. But I'll open it up to you guys. Who do you think is the most overachieving team? And we'll start with you, Chris.
Man, that's good. I think I know who I'm going to say. Well, I got a couple teams actually.
I know who you're going to say too.
I don't know if you do. I might say, I was, it's easy to say the Jazz or the Suns for me. I'll go with the Suns because the Jazz I expect to be good because I think they're so well coached and they've been together for so long. But I personally thought the Suns were going to take a step back. I thought losing Kelly Oubre was going to hurt a little more than it did. I think that I didn't think that CP3 was going to be able to, I don't know if he is the influence that people are giving him credit for or what, but he's definitely, they're playing amazing ball, so maybe he is. I would say the Suns, I think they've really got him, I think they've got them going, I think the whole team's playing well. I think they've just showed it, they're well coached, everybody seems to know their role. Like it's one of those things that we talked about really early on this podcast is we're a team where literally nobody has a role yet. Like everybody's fighting for the role ahead of them. I feel like the Suns don't have that. Everybody knows what their spot is and they do that well.
Right. Absolutely. And Jared, who would you say is your pick?
I was actually pretty impressed with Chris's pick in the Suns just because I'm a big CP3 guy, and that dude, wherever he goes, he just wins. So great call on the Suns. But my two teams, and I know someone listening to this podcast wants me to mention the Knicks. That's not going to be my pick, but I want to talk about them. So the Knicks are fifth in the East right now under Tibbs, but they're also there's also 7 teams within 3 games of them, so let's not get carried away about the Knicks. But one of the teams that is within those 3 games is the Charlotte Hornets. And the Charlotte Hornets, to me, have been super surprising just because of how quickly LaMelo has excelled. And I know that we do a lot of LaMelo and Edwards comparisons, but, dude, I watched the game. I think it was the Portland Trailblazers and the Charlotte Hornets game last week. And even though Charlotte had lost that game, dude, LaMelo can play. That kid is good. And he's super young. And we just played the Hornets as well, and I'm sure we'll talk about that before we do our parting ways. But dude, the Hornets are good, and they're going to make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says.
And I think they'll be – oh, go ahead.
Rozier is a monster. Hayward is a monster. Like, those two guys have taken huge step-ups from last year. Both of those guys could be up for most improved player of the year. They're playing well, and Ball's a stud.
Yep, absolutely. And I think there'll be a big push because particularly with the Eastern Conference, there's a little lack of, I don't know, it feels like on the lower tier, there's a little lack of pizzazz in the Eastern Conference, but I think the NBA really wants them to make the playoffs so they can model the first round. Like, can LaMelo do it? Can LaMelo take down let's see right now, like a Nets or a 76ers, or LaMelo against the best, against a Ben Simmons or a Kyrie Irving? I think that the NBA would love if the Hornets made the playoffs.